Mhm. Hello, I am back with another commission, but I'm not sure if this is going to go well. I don't know if the avatar is moving or not. Why do I feel like there's a problem with OBS Studio today? Or not? Okay, I'm ready. Again, this commission is from VGen, from the VTuber named Darvi, and it's an eye banner that can be used for both Twitch and YouTube. I'll be coloring it today. Mm. Let me delete my watermark. Sometimes I sketch on stream, but other times I just color. That's because um sometimes when I feel like the sketch will be harder and I will need a little bit more focus, I don't do it on stream so that I can get it approved first and then I can color it later. Because coloring is kind of easier compared to, you know, drawing the base. For me at the very least, because I've seen some people say that line art is the harder part, but I feel like for me it isn't. I like my drawing tablet. I think that's the reason. It makes things a little bit more smoother for me. I don't think that it's um very hard. It's actually kind of relaxing as well. Mm. Okay, this is going to be the front part of the mask. I added a few eyelashes here, but not on the rest of the eye for now. I I will add it depending on whether they're needed or not after I've colored it because I don't want it to look like a girly eyelash, you know? The upper eyelid, and then we move on to the lower eyelid. Okay, this is going to be the base. Let me check if it's good enough. For now, it'll do. We'll edit things later. Yesterday, I received some comments on my live stream saying that it was quite relaxing. You know what? I think I'm flattered because I did not think that somebody could think of my live stream as relaxing, if anything. But if it is relaxing, then that means that, well, it's another niche that I could work on. Maybe I could make them more relaxing or something. I have to figure out how to add copyright free music into the videos. Soft music. Can you guys hear the clicking of my buttons? I use my tablet's buttons all the time. I don't use keyboard at all. My my pen's button has eraser and undo button, and my tablet has zoom and rotate. I usually don't need any use for keyboard. Don't have any use for keyboard. Okay, so this is the base of the eye. I don't recommend merging all the layers just like that. I don't know why I do it. When you're doing digital art, the more layers you use, the better it is. This is the mask layer, this is the eyebrows, and this is the eyes layer. Now we're gonna make one more layer for hair. Okay, so now we have, wait, a layer for hair, one for the mask, one for the eyebrows, and one for the eyes themselves. And the one for nose is not needed as of now, but I'll draw it anyway for reference because this part is going to be a lighter color anyway. It does not need an outline. However, I think that I should have these at least. No, I'll use color for it. Okay, it got merged with the hair layer. We're gonna separate it like that. A little bit of a liquify pan, like that. Yep. Okay. The line art is done. We're gonna move on to the coloring process. First off, we're gonna go into the skin. Um. Okay. Wait. I have a better idea. How about I use this color and then just make the background. Okay. This looks kind of dark for now, but when I render it, it wouldn't. Okay. Now we're gonna go with the nose shadow and then we remove the outline. Good. Perfect. You go. Okay. I think I want to make some layers for the eyes and the eyebrows. At least for the eyes, I will make a folder. For now, we don't need these three layers. We're good. Go in with the this white color, and then we like all the parts in the eyes, close all the parts in the eyes so that we can use the bucket tool. A lot of people don't use bucket tools when they start doing things professionally, but I do. The reason being, um, I think it just makes things a little bit more easier, right? This is going to be the base render. Once this is done, we will move on to the shading parts. This will be the white parts, and then we go into the eye base and the insides. This is going to be the eyes and the base. I think I'll make a separate folder for this. And then I will make another folder which will have the eyelashes. Okay, this is the eye folder, and inside of the eye folder there's the line art, and then there's one folder for the eyelashes, one folder for the eyeballs, and then one for um the white part, sclera, I think. I don't need a folder for the pink part. We're gonna add the pink like that. Okay. Mm. You gotta remove this white stuff. Yeah. Mhm. Okay, this is going to be the base. Let's move on to coloring. First off, we're gonna go into the shading of the eyeball. I do want to make it something similar, but I also want to do my own thing with it. Let's just go with something similar first, and then I edit in my own way. This is going to be the base, and use this color for the bottom part. Then we use, okay, wait. Right, overlay here, overlay with a little bit of adjusted color. Mm, I think that looks good. Fair. And for the hmm, yeah, that's better. Okay. From From this point, I am going to do my own thing. And we gotta close it for a while. Okay, I want some shine in the bottom and some shine from the sides, but they're brown, so also has to have some brown shades inside. Mhm. They're sort of brown, but like orange shade of brown. Yeah, sort of like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for this reference colors, I need this. Okay. So for the most part, this is the base color. We're gonna go into a little bit more rendering now. Mm, 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 mm. Before you start wondering what I'm doing, don't. I don't know what I'm doing. I want it to look a little bit more natural. Eyes do have this, so it shouldn't be weird. Hmm. I think I'm beginning to like where it's going. Now, the important part is that both eyes should not have opposite shadings. They should have shadings in the same direction, so I will have to turn off the mirror scale thingy and do it manually. This is where I want the shades to be. One. This is gonna have to be above the liner. Yep. One, two. Nah. That looks fine. What if it was overlaid though? What if? That actually looks nice. It was just an experiment. Okay, I want to make a few circles around here. I'll have to use the scale. Oops. Yeah. The reason I do everything in separate layers is so that if the client does not like something or wants something to be removed, it can be removed just by like adding or subtracting a layer. Because when you draw everything on one layer, then it is harder to like remove those things. And I think most artists these days understand this. Mhm. The eyes are kind of looking nice. I'll just add or try to add one last thing and hopefully it will not ruin things. Mhm. What about multiply? Nope. Screen? Nah. I think that looks good. For the line art, I will um, color some of it. Mm, maybe I should just erase this part. No, no, as in from here. Okay, we have a little bit of a problem. We're gonna have to turn off a few layers. Mm, no, 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 no. I have a better solution to it. Yeah, so smart of me. No, what was the color again? Wait, good. I turn all the layers back on. Perfect. Not exactly perfect, but better than before. Where's the problem though? Where is the shading? Oh, that works, I suppose. Mm, ah, we forgot. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. Hmm. Let's have a little more fun with the eyes. I'm gonna act like I know what I'm doing. This is why I like eye rendering. As in, you can do whatever you want as long as it looks good. I want to add a little bit of blue. Might sound straight some. No, overlay. No, maybe multiply. Nah, add. No, soft light, hard light. This looks better. And then we reduce the we take it a little bit lower, maybe a little bit even more. Mm-hmm. What about those? Where's the glittery parts? I forgot where the layer is. Where did the glittery layer go? Oh, way above that. Oh, after there. So, mm, the blue part just does not look good enough. Or maybe I'm overthinking, but it just doesn't look good. Looks good here. Maybe even later. Nah, I don't like it. This looks better. So for the final thingies, I think I'm kind of satisfied with the eyes. Okay, I am hoping that you can hear me now. I did not know my mic was off. Oh my god. I'm so bad at streaming. I was so busy in drawing, I just didn't realize that I wasn't, nobody could hear me. But anyway, Oven says really nice. Thank you, Oven. We're gonna continue the coloring process now. I am so sorry for not not realizing that the mic was off before. But hey, I'm back now. So we did the eyes. I rendered the eyeball and the side of the eyelashes, but I have yet to render the rest of the skin and the eyebrows, the mask, and the hair. So I think that if we go with the hair first, that would make things a little bit more easier because then I would be able to guess where to put the other colors. It would be kind of complicated to explain like this, but when I start, you will understand. Now, where is the hair layer? There it is. We're gonna give them a little bit depth. I'm gonna need a clear background for the base color. So, okay. Just a little bit of shading, light one. And then we go into a little bit more darker side. I am so upset at not realizing that the mic was off for I don't know how long. Mm. Okay, now for the front part, I'm gonna add all these layers into one folder. Wait, there's a little bit of shading that I would like to give it, lighter shading. Smudgy. Okay, so this is all added into one folder, right? And now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna duplicate this folder. I mean, add a layer from this folder. We're gonna make that layer black. The bottom layer is now black. Okay, like this. And now we're gonna do kind of like this with this extra part needs to go up. Okay, and now we put it a multiply or overlay mask. I feel like overlay makes it a little bit too dark. Why not both though? Why not both? Go with the overlay as well. Right? Now this looks way better. We have a shadow, but I want it to have a little bit of a lower opacity. No! We cannot add it to folders. Yep, that looks better. Slightly better. Okay. Now, for the mask and for the eyebrows. For the mask, I will need this layer to go up. We will put a base color for the mask. Okay. And now we will color it with an airbrush. I've seen some beginner artists use airbrush for shading everything, but I recommend not doing that. You can't just shade everything with an airbrush. It looks sort of unrealistic. If you want to like make things shaded more realistically and not anime style, you still shouldn't be using an airbrush. There are plenty of brushes for most apps that like skin texture brushes and stuff, and mm, at least any kind of texture brush would do. But if you use airbrush too much, the art starts looking wonky. There was this one time in my university days when I was told to present some topic that I was interested in. So I chose to take talent versus skill, and I did that. It was sort of a debate related topic. We were supposed to debate over why one is better than the other, and I chose to support skill over talent. I it's sort of a personal belief for from me that talent does not exist. Okay, if maybe my mind is changing a little bit recently, but before my mindset was like, if um if there is no skill, there is no talent, and skill comes from interest. So if you have interest in something, you naturally begin to want to do it by heart, and when you're doing something by heart, it just comes out better. Okay, so um for example, um uh, I practiced almost all my life to draw, right? I still don't consider myself where I want to be, but like I practiced a ton for it. So if someone comes around and tells me, "Wow, you're so talented," yes, obviously, I am. You in their eyes, I am talented, but only I know how hard I worked to like learn all that stuff. So I would consider that skill and maybe passion, or well, on the side of interest. But then it's all about opinions, I suppose. But like recently, when I started teaching my younger cousin how to draw and she started learning so fast, I realized maybe there is some aspect of natural talent in some people. Maybe. But then she is also really interested in it. So it could just be her interest, right? I just don't know what to call a talent. So then somebody gave me an example. They said to me that how about counting in people that can't sing? Okay. So when there's people who can't sing and they naturally don't have mm, uh, a voice that is able to sing nicely, right? So I was like, okay, maybe that could be considered as talent, but then isn't it just a physical ability? If we're going that far, I don't think it is, um, you know, talent in that case as well. Or maybe I'm just being too stingy and don't want to admit that there is some aspect of talent in everything, in every hobby. Now I'm gonna select this overlay and erase it from the bottom so that we can have some transparency. like that. But I don't want it to become completely invisible too. Okay. For the skin, you see, everything is good in my opinion right now. It looks nice overall, but there is something missing. Now you guess what it is. It is the shadow. We're gonna add layer from canvas. Oops. No, no, no. We're gonna duplicate this particular layer. Okay. And then we're gonna mm, bring it a little bit lower. Zoom it a little bit. No, no, don't zoom it. Bring it a little bit lower. Let me use the special tool to like, okay. Now we put a kind of make it a little bit blurry, just a little bit, and then we use overlay. So this is the shadow of the mask, but I feel like it's a little bit too light. So I'm gonna make it multiply instead. Yeah. hmm It is too thick. It looks more like a cap. So I'm gonna make it a little bit closer to the mask. Now that looks better. Okay. And the whatever missing is stuff here. Okay. So we need to color the eyebrows now, and then we shade into the skin just a little bit. Um, eyebrows should be. Hmm, oops, we don't color into the line art layer. We color below it. Okay. These are the eyebrows. Now we're gonna give the skin a little bit of a pink shade. I mean, he may be tired, but he needs to look alive. Mm, okay, I think I like where this is going. I'm gonna adjust the bottom part of the eyes on the man, just a little bit. By the way, like I said in my last stream, my best friend visited me yesterday. I don't know if it should be considered as yesterday, but yeah, um, I did not sleep after that, so I don't know. Anyway, so she visited me and we had a lot of fun. We watched How. If you watched it, it's an anime movie. How is a robot boy. I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but I watched that movie very long ago, so I didn't remember what the ending was like. So I decided to watch with her again, and we were like, we could watch something sweet and cute and something like that. But I did not remember the ending, and well, I, I don't know if it should be considered as a good ending or not, but it wasn't the ending we were hoping for. We went into watching that thing because we wanted something sweet to watch, but then it quickly turned dark. Well, not exactly quickly. It was dark from the start, but there was a huge plot twist. And I watched it like I'm watching it for the first time until that plot twist. And I was like, "Oh gosh, how could I not remember it? How could I fall for this thing again?" It's actually sometimes it's actually nice having a bad memory. You can watch and enjoy things all over again, but only sometimes. I am going to make this line transparent. Why is there a gap here? Mm. By the way, we're almost done here, and I think I am kind of satisfied with the results, to be honest. Oh, the scale wasn't on. I will have to erase the other eye. separately. To me, I think this is has gotten a little bit better than I was expecting, honestly. Maybe I should delete this line, erase this line. Mm-hmm. 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 Nah, it looks good in my art style. Hmm. One more thing that I would like to do would be coloring the eyelashes just a little bit darker. Now, 42. Yep. Mhm. Okay. I'll add just a little bit more shading to the mask. So many people asked me to teach them how to draw digitally, but then only people that like were super interested actually tried to learn. As in, it's not like if they tell me to teach them once, I will start going after them every single day to be and go learn from me, tell them to learn from me. If they want to learn it, they have to be the ones like making effort for it, right? Why should I be the one telling them to learn? And yet they blame me for not teaching them. They go, it's. I'm not even asking for any sort of payment, but they're like, it's my fault that they haven't been able to learn how to draw. How? How is it my fault? I'm a busy person, and even if I wasn't busy, you're the one who wants to learn it, right? So you're the one who's supposed to be asking me to teach them. And it's not like I've ever said no. You practice, you show me what you did, and then I will be able to like correct your mistakes and teach you where you're wrong and stuff. But you can't expect me to come after you every single day and go learn from me, right? Okay, I think we're almost done here. Let me test one last thing. Mm. Hmm, I think we're done here. Okay, so I'm gonna submit this. We're gonna hope that it is liked by the client as well. And I'll catch you later. Bye bye. Take care.